Hello and welcome to the Street Crime UK YouTube channel. Please don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. Today we're going to take a look at the case of two brothers who have been given a jail sentence totaling 17 years for their roles in an operation to supply large quantities of Class A drugs in Bradford. Daniel Shaw, who was 25 of Albion Road, Idle, Bradford, was imprisoned for 10.5 years after the police seized a 30-kilo stash of heroin worth £1.5 million. It was stored in a laundry bag concealed under a blanket at an address in the city, along with almost £100,000 in cash and hidden in a padlocked sport bag. Joseph Shaw, who was 29 of Green Road, Belden, was jailed for 6.5 years after he transported 2 kilos of heroin from London to Bradford. Daniel Shaw pleaded guilty to conspiracy to supply heroin, cocaine and cannabis. Joseph Shaw admitted being concerned in the supply of heroin and conspiracy to supply cocaine and cannabis. Prosecutor Alistair Campbell told Bradford Crown Court that the police had found the 30 kilos of heroin and £99,935 in cash at a third man's home on August the 22nd, 2021. He was storing them to help pay off a drug debt. He went to the police to tell them about the hauls of drugs and cash, maybe to end his involvement in the enterprise because he was being exploited by those higher up in the chain, Mr. Campbell said. 3 days later, Daniel Shaw was arrested after a phone he was using was traced by good old-fashioned policing and found hidden under a sofa at his home. The police have seized £2,000 in cash from his address, the court was also told. Mr. Campbell said that on one occasion, when drugs were suspected of being moved around, a taxi driver in Bradford remarked on the weight of the bags being put into his boot, saying they had affected his vehicle's suspension. Joseph Shaw was arrested on November the 2nd, 2021, after police became suspicious that he too was involved. Incriminating messages between the brothers showed that they had been plotting to become involved in the drug business between March and August 2021. No cocaine had ever been found, but the messages showed the idea of purchasing decent stuff and that cannabis was being grown at Joseph Shaw's address. Mr. Campbell said Joseph Shaw had spoken of wanting a Ricky lifestyle, referring to the glamorous and lavish lifestyle lived by a man in Spain. Neither defendant had any previous convictions, the court was also told. Mohammed Rafiq said in mitigation for Daniel Shaw that he was 23 when he got involved in the drugs enterprise out of greed and stupidity. He had left home at 21 and began associating with undesirable people. It was for him a way of making some quick money perhaps, Mr. Rafiq said. He had fallen into temptation and greed and had already begun to rehabilitate himself. Family members were in court to support him and references and testimonials spoke very high of him. He was making good progress in prison on remand, taking courses and earning a trusted status in jail. Speaking of the fact that both men would be jailed, Mr. Rafiq said, "For a family to lose 2 sons is an unmitigated disaster." Daniel Shaw was very much in a dark place and he asked the court to give him some light at the end of the tunnel. He had shown contrition and remorse and he was now going in the right direction. For Joseph Shaw, Saul Brody stated that he was a courier on 2 occasions, bringing a kilo of heroin both times from London to Bradford. He had little awareness or understanding of the scale of the operation. There was no evidence of multi-kilo transporting on his part. Mr. Brody said Joseph Shaw was held in high regard by many people. He had spent a long time in custody and was assessed by the probation service as being a very low risk of reoffending. Mr. Brody also pointed to the fact that no actual cocaine was ever purchased or sold. Judge Ahmed Nadim said the men came from a hard-working, law-abiding family and had never been in trouble before, but drugs blight communities and ruin lives. These brothers had been in pursuit of a lifestyle out of their reach and didn't care about the damage they were inflicting upon communities. Judge Nadim set a Proceeds of Crime Act timetable to calculate and seize the money and assets made from the drugs enterprise. He commended the police team involved in the investigation. Thank you for joining us today. What are your opinions on the Shaw brothers? Do you believe the sentence was too harsh or not harsh enough? Please let us know what you think in the comments below. Thank you for joining us today. If you enjoyed this content, please don't forget to like and share. And if you're new to the channel and want to see more Street Crime UK content, hit subscribe and press that bell so you can join us on the next video. Thank you for joining us and until next time, stay safe.